Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Kirby Star Allies. In the last episode, we introduced the game and we beat the first two levels. In this episode, we're going to start it out by going to the Dream Palace. This is one of the coolest parts of this game right here, is that when you go into the Dream Palace, you can summon a special friend. And these special friends consist of characters you might have seen before. Welcome to the Dream Palace. This is a Dream Palace. You can meet a dream character here if you use the Dream Rod. That's a lot of dreaming. Also, that's literally just a star rod with a heart on it. When you grab the Dream Rod, the roulette will start. Press A to call the Dream Friends. Now this part's a little odd. I don't know why they decided to make it a roulette. However, you can see we have a couple of friends to choose from here. We're gonna get Waddle Dee. So this is the first of the, what is it? There's 6 Dream Friends, I believe, in this game currently. And what you're seeing on screen now is a summary of what exactly this Dream Friend can do. Waddle Dee, Bandana Dee rather, is based off of the Spear ability from Return to Dreamland, and it's actually the first time he's been playable since that game, so it's kind of exciting. And of course, Spear being a unique ability in this game, it has unique combinations and all that. Kind of. It basically just falls into the category of being a physical ability, and of course it can have the normal elements imbued upon it like any other physical ability, but he doesn't have anything special to give out, as in he's basically not an element. Ice just completely destroyed the most interesting character, one of the most interesting moves in this game, which is Yo-Yo. Hasn't been seen since Superstar, and you know what? We don't have to deal with that. Who cares? A lot of enemies in this game also haven't been seen for like several Kirby games. Here's another one. So Yo-Yo is a basic physical type ability. Also, Waddle Dee does have the ability to cut grass or anything that needs to be cut. And you can also imbue an element on his spear, and I'm going to try and get him to do that. There we go. So now we have 2 ice abilities and 1 fire ability. It's good to have like a well-rounded thing of, never mind. It's good to have a couple of different elements with you at any given time, because they'll be able to do separate things in the world, such as, you know, needing to cut down that bomb and light the fuse at the same time, things like that. So I would recommend having, you don't need all the elements, but if you have the option, just get a couple of different elements. So here we actually specifically need Fire Yo-Yo because it has the ability to light the fuse through the wall. So get the Sizzle Yo-Yo, hit it, and let's go. As far as any specific combinations go, you know, fire being imbued on any physical ability is always going to just increase the attack power, stuff like that. Ice is always going to add a freezing ability. Water is going to add, like, if y'all remember what Toxic, or Poison I believe is the name of the ability was, in Robobot, it's kind of like that. It leaves a pool of water behind that oddly enough hurts enemies. So it adds a lasting effect. Also, Waddle Dee was having fun over there. And since we won't really get the ability to show this off any other time really cool, we can hop on players' backs to actually control that character. So now we're actually controlling Waddle Dee. And one of my favorite moves of his is just completely annihilating the enemies with thousands of spears. You can also, like, they each have their own unique jump most of the time. So it's cool to see what Spear can do. Stab up in the air, do a normal stab, a bunch of stabs. It acts pretty similar to the pole ability in this game, but we won't actually be seeing that for a long time. So, it's just kind of unique. There's a reason Spear didn't come back in later games. It's kind of not an interesting ability. Anyway, every once in a while you'll see those doors you have to have at least 2 friends to go through. A lot of the game's going to force you to have a certain amount of friends with you, and that's kind of disappointing. I wish you could go through the game alone if you so wished, but that's just not what the game developers had in mind. So, you know, it's all good. This game wasn't, difficulty-wise, it was not designed for 4 characters. It's just as hard as any other Kirby game, but now you have 4 characters to work with, so it's kind of really easy. I'm not sure what my life count is, actually. 17! Yeah, we're in the 3rd stage, and we're at 17 lives. Obviously, I haven't died at all. And you know what? I'm going to show you something real quick that I'm sure most of you haven't seen yet. Yeah, This game has a game over screen. Who'd have known? You can go through the game easily without getting a single game over, and that's what I did. By the end of the game, I actually had, how many? I think I had like 150 lives or something. I'm glad it goes over 100, so it gives you something to work towards, and it doesn't just like max out, but still. Anyway, this is Whip. It acts fairly similar to Spear, to be honest, but if I can get on him, I could show off a specific ability that's new. If you charge your attack... Oh, never mind. I was thinking actually of enemies. If you charge your attack, you can grab an enemy and throw them, but if you use the combine ability, you can actually have another friend jump into your whip and you can throw them, which will activate the friend throw ability. I can't really show that while I'm on their back because you cannot actually combine another character. You can't activate the combination thing for another character unless you are that character. So that's a little sad. Otherwise, pressing up just allows you to dismount the character that you're on. So that's a bit of a shame that we can't show that off yet, but we will be able to soon enough. And if I see another whip, I'll actually just go ahead and combine with him, or take his ability so we can show that off. Anyway, looks like we got a bit of a secret here. Of course, using Yo-Yo to light that fuse. You do tend to see the same few puzzles in the game over and over again. As far as puzzles go, it's not as intuitive, I guess you could say, as Robobot was. Like, the puzzles in that game got really, like, I don't know how to say it. Obtuse? That sounds kind of mean. They were really secretive. All the puzzles in this game kind of have a pretty obvious solution. Anyway, you want to murder all of these Waddle Dees and grab the key. That is a central concept of Kirby. Murder. And of course there is a big switch in this stage as well, which unlocks the extra stage. Pretty cool. Can't wait to try that one out. Extra stage pretty much works the same as any other Kirby game. They all have retro music. They consist of only retro music. And let me tell you what, I kind of got spoiled as to what music was going to be in the game because all of my old Kirby LPs started getting copyright claims from the music that was in them. So I can kind of just check the copyright claims to see what songs are actually going to be used in this game. So that's kind of something funny, just a funny story. It's not like they're taking away hundreds of dollars from me, so I'm not mad. It's just kind of funny how you can tell what songs are going to be in the new Kirby game. What returning songs are, rather. I don't know. Anyway, it wants us to get a Burning Leo there. I'm not sure why. We already have one. Oh, it's just to light another fuse. Well, just do that. Hopefully they all get in the cannons. And let's blast off. I know this is just another way of them doing the secrets. The AI in this game is very smart. I will give it that. But because of that, they will go after enemies and try to knock them out if you're not knocking them out yourself. So I'd be careful. I'd grab whatever ability you want to grab before your friends end up murdering that enemy to where you can't get that ability anymore. I don't think I actually got a 1. Nope. Well, there you can see what happens if you get a 2. Get a pretty good heal. It's not a full heal, and you don't get the extra puzzle piece, sadly. Anyway, fill up all those spots. I will say, we're not even going to come close to unlocking all of these puzzle pieces by the end of the game. Sadly, it's something I'm going to have to grind out in between episodes because it's just such a long process, and it's surprising. I feel like the other games put an appropriate amount of collectibles in the game to where you could have most of them done by the time you finish the game. There's more adventure to be found, and extra stages now unlocked. Oh boy. Well, let's go ahead and take that on, why don't we? And actually, every time you complete a stage, the Dream Palace is usable again. You can't just use it like 3 times in a row and get all Dream characters. You have to actually complete a separate stage to use it again. I won't be using it quite yet because, you know, let's give Waddle Dee, Bandana Dee rather, some time in the spotlight because he hasn't gotten it in the last few games. We had an entire side mode in the last 2 games for both Meta Knight and King Dedede. I think it's Waddle Dee's time for some fun. Anyway, here's a new ability, if I can grab it. Ninja. This acts basically as any other normal physical ability. It can have an ability imbued on it. Makes very slight changes to the actual ability, not anything real crazy. Basically, we have Fiery Kunai, which is the coolest part of it, probably. Ninja's always been such an odd ability. It's so good, but it's so hard to use. Like, you have to tap the B button super quick to actually throw the kunai. Otherwise, you would do the sword slash if you hold it any more than like a very small amount of time. Also, that reminds me, something I wanted to talk about. This game is at 30 FPS and people are absolutely livid over it. And honestly, I don't mind it at all. In fact, I've never really seen too much of a difference between 60 FPS and 30. Plus, honestly, this game is the most beautiful game on the Switch right now. This is prettier than anything else on it. Even Xenoblade 2. I'm gonna be honest. Let's actually replace Burning Leo, because Parasol is actually special in this game. It can imbue water to your ability, which it's always been kind of a watery ability before, but it's just kind of a nice touch that it can do that. However, it can also make a giant parasol on its own. Chumbrella, what a great name. And this will block you from any overhead attacks, or if it's specifically a water attack, it completely blocks it. Also, you want to pay attention to these arrows to see which way to go. It's really interesting, and I want to get into kind of what makes this game really great. It's the fact that elements interact with things specific to that element. So, of course, the umbrella is going to be a foolproof guard against anything that's water-based. And it makes sense, you know? It's just really cool. It seems basic, but like we haven't gotten into like chemistry interactions in games until recently. And it's cool that Kirby is embracing it completely now. In fact, there's something that I want to show off with this first boss that you might not have known if you weren't paying too much attention. Although, of course, to do that, I am going to want fire. I think this is the room that I'm thinking of. You have to knock out like all of these seeds to find out which one has the key. I think it's up here somewhere. Yeah, it's this one because it's out of the way. They do give you a sword if you don't have the ability to cut it, because you do need a cutter type ability to cut down the seeds. But there's plenty of those, and they're super common, so it shouldn't be too hard to find. And I believe that's actually going to award us. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and grab this dude. Let's get rid of Wester. He's just kind of taking up room right now. We're going to want fire for a little bit in the future. And I think this is actually how we get the rainbow puzzle piece. It's so weird saying puzzle piece, because I want to say gear, I want to say sunstone, I want to say literally every other collectible in the Kirby games, except for the one that it actually is. Also, you'll see that your partners will actually take the initiative to start a puzzle if they have the right ability. That's one of the coolest parts of it. Hopefully they get into position. Also, yeah, you can recognize this music from previous Kirby games. They're all like several different remixes from all these other Kirby games. It's really neat, and it's something that's been around, I want to say, since Return to Dreamland, though that's one of the only Kirby games I haven't played before. I'm not too sure of it. Anyway, yeah, that gives us the rainbow puzzle piece. Sweet. Hopefully saying puzzle piece will become more natural as this LP progresses. Right now it's like I'm struggling to find the word every time I say it. Oh, okay, we're moving. A giant ball of Waddle Dees. Also, I believe this is the return of those pink bouncing enemies from Kirby 64. A lot of enemies that haven't been seen since Kirby 64 appear in this game, and that's really cool. I enjoy that a lot. Oh, they're still coming. What is this music? I want to say this is from Adventure. I don't really know. Like, every Kirby song is in every Kirby game, so it's hard to pinpoint which one it's specifically from, to be honest. And there he goes, into the abyss. And then they explode. Let's keep moving. Don't need to worry about that at all. Use round-trip doors all you want. Oh yeah, that's one specific about this game that's pretty cool. The doors with orange stars on them mean you can go back and through them if you go through them. So it usually means it's the secret door. And then the ones with yellow stars mean they're permanent. And then, of course, the giant golden arches, you know, the end of the level. So here's Bonkers. We haven't seen very many mini-bosses. This is one of them, of course. They're going to be all around the place in this game. I'm going to go ahead and grab him. As much as I don't want to give up on Parasol Waddle Dee, I think it's your turn to go. And, ooh, here's Vividria. Another ability that's new to this game, actually. I'm trying to use my special attack here with Ninja. It's up, down, B. Yeah, that one. That does so much damage, it's ridiculous. And I'm actually going to grab this one myself. I'm a little low on HP here, actually. Oh, thank goodness it gave me Artist. So, Artist is a new ability in this game, and it's fleshed out quite nicely. If you ever see these little paintings in the background, you can use the Artist ability to open them up. And they'll usually give you a little bit of secret, and it usually gives you like the rainbow puzzle piece sometimes, but not always. It's usually just for smaller things. And then of course you can press down, up, B to make all these little sculptures. I believe this one's supposed to be a reference to Triple Deluxe, you know, being a vine and all that. What else do we got here? We got the Tiki Stones, SpongeBob reference. Let's see, what else do we got? We have a vase, perhaps a reference to Zelda. Yeah, there's a couple of them. And then if you hold up, it actually references Kirby 64 with Still Life. It'll create a couple of HP restoring items, and then you'll have to recharge after... Whoa! Oh, he just got fired. I was like, what just happened? It'll give you a couple of HP restoring items that you can use at any time. However, it does need to refill after you do use it. Oh yeah, also, Hammer can be imbued with an element as well. Also, something I want to talk about. You remember the hammer flip attack, where if you hold up and B, you can charge up a fiery hammer strike. Well, they specifically took the fire away from that attack so that you couldn't give fire with that ability. So you couldn't use the hammer flip and give fire to another ability, which is odd. I kind of wish they left it in just as a secret for those who knew that hammer flip would, you know, give fire. I don't know. So yeah, now it's just you hold it up and you swing it. It doesn't have fire on it at all. It's just a bit of an odd change. Anyway, now that we've taken care of the extra stage, we have one more level left to us, and of course you can see that we collected everything. It will show you what is in the stage, if there's a switch or not, so there's no need to worry about that. However, let's take on Fruity Forest. Now this is, as far as you can tell, probably a boss stage. These do tend to be shorter than most normal stages, simply because they do have a boss at the end. I'll tell you this right now, you probably want to have fire as an ability with you, because it will be useful for this next upcoming area. Speaking of which, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of my ability, get hit by that dude, and what you can do is you can actually suck up one of your partners to take their ability, and you get the element that's added onto it as well. Of course, if you've ever played a Kirby game, these candies do give you invincibility and increase your running speed by a ton. So, grab them if you see them. I believe this is probably just going to be the rainbow thing, yeah. Usually the rainbow puzzle piece is pretty obvious in these stages as well if it's a boss stage. I kind of wish I could get rid of fire on this ability, just to show off the fact that Hammer Flip doesn't create fire anymore. Oh yeah, there's this whole area. So all of these blocks have a puzzle piece in them, and I don't know why it feels so weird to me that all of them do. I feel like just one of them should. But you know what? Whatever. Oh, I guess that one has an HP item, just in case you're low before taking on the boss. Anyway, after all that, I believe we're at the end here in terms of the actual stage. So yeah, this layout probably looks a little similar to you if you've ever played a Kirby game. You know who the first boss is. This is a reset platform. You can send all of your partners up here to, like, change them all whatever at your will. So what I'm going to do, okay, first off, I can show off. Look, Hammer Flip has no fire on it anymore, just because I didn't want to give it fire. I'm going to get rid of all my friends. Hold on, how do I do that again? Actually, I think if I don't have an ability, that's how I get rid of them. Yeah, so just like poof into them and they'll turn into nothingness. And if you drop a Dream Friend, they're gone forever, so I wouldn't recommend it. Actually, this is going to be weird. Okay. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Get Hammer, get Fire, and then get fire on my hammer, drop it, and then send this boy back, then get my fire. It went away. Yeah, that's fine. I don't need hammer. I don't need fire currently. So I decided that I want to take on all of these bosses on my own. Because of the fact that you have 4 partners, it makes these bosses incredibly weak, and usually you don't even get to see most of their attacks because of it. And for those of you who know a Kirby game, you know it's probably pretty important that I remember and learn the boss patterns. Guardian of the Forest, Whispy Woods. God, I love those splash screens. So here's our first boss. Of course it's Whispy Woods, as any game would be, as any Kirby game would be. As you can see how fast I'm taking him down even by myself. Imagine that 4 times, and then even, like, fire does extra damage to him because he's a tree, obviously. We can just wail on him like this. Yeah, they don't adjust the boss's HP at all for having 4 partners, and that's such a shame, because then you don't really get to see half of their moves. In fact, I might just let him do his thing for a while here. I'll just guard, which you can do by pressing L or R, and it doesn't really hinder you at all. Just so we get to see all of his moves. This spinning attack you probably wouldn't see otherwise, because he'd be dead by now. Oh geez, those really follow you, don't they? Okay. You can also see he's kind of hurt by something. Are these like bombs? Oh yeah, guess they just leave them out. It's pretty low tension, as you can see. Also, you can befriend Whispy Woods. Finally a game where you don't have to end off with him being sad and crying. No, if you throw a friend heart at him after you beat him, you get to see the cutest smile you ever did see. Alright. We did it. We've taken down our first boss. But something odd. Yeah, the mystery still remains. Where are these hearts coming from? Who knows? Anyway, yeah, that's just something I want to do as we go through this game. I don't want to have 4 partners fighting a boss because it feels cheap. You can literally just stand in the corner and do nothing while your friends do the work for you. I don't know. That's just how I feel on the matter. So expect that to happen most of the time. Anyway, with that, we've defeated Whispy Woods, and we found a couple of dream partners. In fact, I might grab another one. Actually, you know what? Now I think about it, I'm not going to. See you all in the next episode when we go to Castle Day to Day. See you all then, and goodbye.